Emily, why are you out here alone? The little engine spoke with a shiver. He hadn't been outside for long, but his cheeks were already glowing pink. I'm not out there. I'm in here, she insisted, as if that answered it. In the goods shed? But that means you're not becoming a Beagle Express engine. Emily just blinked. She searched Percy's face for wry humor, but all she found was clueless sincerity. What are you on about? You say it all the time, insisted Percy, getting a little flustered. You said it this morning. You said, Percy, I won't let the snow delay my train. I am not becoming a Beagle Express engine. Regal, Percy! Heavens, she seethed, shutting her eyes to soothe the headache. It's not becoming of a Regal Express engine, such as myself. Yes, that. Surely sleeping in a goods shed is not, that. Emily took a good look at the filthy rafters above her. A heap of dirty snow sloshed down from the roof. Percy darted backward to avoid it, but it just went down his funnel instead. Ee-hee! Pipe freeze! Pipe freeze! Emily just sighed and breathed a gust of hot steam under him until the snowball in his blast pipe melted again. Thank you, he smiled. I suppose this shed is rather drab, she agreed, but there's nowhere else for me to stay, what with your winter party in the main shed. Join us, squeaked Percy. We want you there. I spend Christmas alone, Percy. You know this. Why? Because some stuffy old preservation society? Manners, she scolded. Well, it is. They kept you in a dark room, all alone. That sounds pretty stuffy to me. They kept me in their grand exhibit hall. It was a high honor, and millions of Britons came to visit me over the years. I would hardly call that loneliness. Did any of them ever come back? Well, yes, some did. Once or twice. Emily bit her lip, realizing how she sounded. But I would never have wanted them all buzzing around me at Christmas anyhow. The holidays are a time to reflect. Percy looked saddened by this. Emily, do you like it here? On Sodor, I mean. What? Of course. But you seem so uncomfortable. Emily flushed, like she'd been found out. I don't see what you mean. My trains always run to time, and I'd like to think I'm cordial with you all. But you're always in such a hurry to leave the platform. You never stay to talk, and you always go straight to sleep when you come home. We're all up for hours afterward, except you. Sheds are a place for rest. How is it my fault that you all stay up chattering? We always have. It's you who won't join in, snapped Percy, looking quite hurt. Emily pulled back, looking remorseful, but she didn't take it back. Suddenly, Percy felt all the ground around him grow warm with steam. He had been eclipsed by a giant shadow, contrasted against the glowing yellow light of the nearby engine sheds. He didn't need to look back to know who it was.
Go back to the party, little Percy.
I just want Emily to...
I know,
said Gordon calmly.
She will.
Percy didn't look so sure, but he didn't know what else to say to her. So he scampered back to the party, leaving the big blue engine and the grand old green single alone.
Nobody knows you're here, you know,
he said, certainly. Seems just about everybody does, grumbled Emily. Can't an engine sleep in a goods shed without attracting attention?
Not one of your caliber,
said Gordon. He didn't say it like it was praise. He said it like he was stating a fact.
And you know that's not what I meant.
Emily sighed. I'm of a different breed, Gordon. I shouldn't be here. In fact, neither should you. Gordon smiled faintly, recalling a far-off memory.
You're wrong, Emily. Sodor is exactly where I should be, and you belong here too.
But we are landmarks in the history of speed and travel. Our place is the Great Northern Railway Museum.
You mean the one that's been shuttered?
Emily sunk into the shed in mourning. Yes, the worst has come to pass.
You know, I thought the same thing when Gresley sent me away. I thought I'd been exiled to this place, and I'd never see home again. I confess, there are days I still feel like that.
And you're right, too. We carry a great legacy upon our running plates, Gordon. We're legends, you and I.
We're engines, said Gordon harshly, and my first Christmas here I was a very lonely engine indeed. But it wasn't because I didn't care for parties. It was because I'd never been to one before.
I've been to parties. I've been to lots of parties.
Galas are not parties.
Emily looked peeved. Well, what about...
Christenings? Where they break the bottle of champagne over your buffer, you mean? Not those either.
Who put you in charge of what a party is?
No one, thankfully, or they'd be rather boring, he said, a little defeatedly. It's not a party without other engines. Friends singing childish songs, and practicing their stupid traditions, and making arses of themselves all night long. That's a party. Have you ever had that?
Emily fashioned a clever retort in her head, searching for the right way to shut Gordon down. But even when she'd found the words, they didn't make her feel any better, so she decided just to be honest. No, she admitted at last. I've never been to a party.
Of course you haven't, said Gordon empathetically. Because on the Great Northern Railway, prize horses like us didn't live in sheds. We lived in stables. They let you out to gallivant around the track, of course, to the adoration of the cheering public. But horses don't gather for Christmas. And a horse's only friend is its jockey.
My jockey was the head of the Preservation Society, said Emily in a hushed tone. I won't be seeing him again. She huffed with annoyance and said, I guess I don't have anyone else. Do I?
How could you? You've been on a plinth for the last 50 years.
Emily chuckled under her breath, the icicles shaking from her frames as she warmed to the thought of the party. She could hardly believe her own feelings. It's madness, you know. Us, throwing our lot in with them.
It is indeed, chuckled Gordon, in disbelief himself. But it's a better life here than there. You'll see. If you aren't frightened, that is.
Emily simmered with determination. Is that a challenge?
What do you think?
Coaxed Gordon, pressure building up in his cylinders again. He began to back toward the party, and with a quick, sharp breath of cold air, Emily took off after him. I hope Percy isn't sore at me.
No, indeed. He doesn't know how to hold a grudge, the cherub.
Well, it was nice of him to try, at least.
He did his best, agreed Gordon, but he cannot sympathize with us express engines. A working-class Christmas is all he's ever known.
Well, then, said Emily reticently, I suppose he'll have to show me how it's done. Emily already lived on the Northwestern Railway. But after that Christmas Eve in Tidmouth Sheds, she was finally a fat controller's engine.